I think I speak for most, if not all, wrestling game fans when I say we are eager to hear more about what WWE 2K22 has to offer. We're sure to hear more now that the game is sponsoring SummerSlam, which goes down Saturday, August 21st. But I also think there's a good possibility that this game might actually get delayed for a few months, and we're going to talk about that here in today's video. But first, guys, all month long, I'm raising money for Extra Life at Penn State Children's Hospital in Hershey, Pennsylvania. It is a very, very important cause to me, so if you guys can, please consider going to the link in the description or the link in the pinned comment to go and donate to my fundraising campaign. It would mean a lot to me. Every dollar helps. Please help me help the kids. And with that, let's get back in today's video. Well, to answer that, we have to take a look at 2K and their parent company, Take-Two Interactive's earnings call. So this happened a few days ago, and during their investor call, 2K said that 2 of their core titles have been delayed until later in fiscal year 2022. So, let's try to boil that down. First off, what is fiscal year 2022? What does that mean? So the fiscal year works differently than the calendar year. So fiscal year 2022 starts April 1st, 2021, and runs through March 31st, 2022. So basically, it means that these 2 games will still come out sometime before March 31st, 2022. It just means that they've been pushed back from their original release date. They didn't announce what those 2 games were or when they would be coming out. They just said that 2 of their games have been moved. So, with that being said, let's take a look at what 2 of their core titles means. Thankfully enough, they show us this in this little PowerPoint presentation. So, they have 4 core titles set for fiscal year 2022. That is WWE 2K22, NBA 2K22, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, which is a Dungeons & Dragons themed spin-off of the Borderlands franchise, and an unannounced 2K game. So like I said, they didn't announce which games had been delayed, they just said that 2 of them had been delayed. I'm going to go ahead and say with a lot of confidence on my end that I don't think that NBA has gotten delayed. NBA has released in September of every year for as long as I can remember. So I highly doubt NBA got delayed. So then it's just left to WWE 2K22, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, and that 3rd unannounced game. So really what this all boils down to is it's possible that WWE 2K22 releases on time when it normally does around October or November, but it's also possible that it may have gotten pushed back a little bit. We don't know how far these games have gotten pushed back, but like I said, at the very latest, March 31st, 2021 is when the fiscal year ends. Let's talk about why I think it's possible that WWE has gotten delayed. So if you guys haven't seen my latest video about WWE 2K22, I outlined a ton of superstars that had been released, that had appeared in WWE 2K20, that have since been released or left the company since the game is released. There's a bunch of other superstars that I missed that had also been released from the company. But, yeah, it's a ton of people. I think with the names I missed, plus the ones I mentioned, it comes close to like 55 or 60 people. I think that that might have a lot more repercussions on the amount of time they're spending to develop the game than you would think. A lot of people think it's just, oh, okay, just, go in, delete, and just keep hitting delete. But it's not really that simple. So, yeah, obviously they have to go in and get rid of their models as usable characters or whatever. But usually they'll keep their moveset and entrance motions and stuff so that people can create them if they want. But my concern is more along the lines of, hey, all right, so let's use an example here. The most recent WWE release, Bray Wyatt, The Fiend. Really dumb release. I'm not going to talk about the ins and outs of it here. It was really stupid. But let's imagine he played a big part in my career. Now, since he's, been released, they might remove him from the game. If they do that, they now have to go back in any of the matches he was a part of. He now needs to be replaced by a new superstar. Okay, cool, sure, seems easy enough. Well, now all those cutscenes that featured Bray Wyatt have to be done by a different superstar. So that means you have to go to those superstars, get them to record those voice lines, implement those voice lines. Okay, great. Now you have to do additional, bug fixes now that you've switched out all these models and all these cutscenes and stuff. Any cutscenes where Bray Wyatt appeared in the background, even if he wasn't like a main focal point, now he has to go back and they have to digitally remove him and either replace him or just leave the background blank or whatever. They have to re-record commentary tracks for those matches because now they don't want Michael Cole saying, if you're in a match against Dolph Ziggler, they don't want him saying, oh, The Fiend, Like all of this stuff needs to go back and be changed and be adjusted and be fixed. And when you talk about that, when it's 1 or 2 people, sure. When you're talking about that on the scale of potentially up to 50 or 60 superstars, that's insane. Like, I do not at all envy the WWE 2K22 developers right now. I do not at all. They are probably crying, honestly. And, like, I feel horrible for them. Yeah, so, I mean, realistically, if they're having to put all this extra work in, and imagine, like, the same thing with if they bring back the showcase mode, which I think they might. If any superstars that were part of that in one of those matches were part of any of, like, the interviews for it, that entire match is just scrapped. It's gone. You know, that's just straight up cut content. You can't replace stuff like that. Like, you can't replace it with another superstar because the showcase is based on real matches that happen. It's crazy stuff to think about, guys. But really, I just wanted to talk about it in today's video. I'm not 100% certain if the game will actually be delayed or not. I just wanted to list out the reasons that I think, mixed with this information we got from 2K, why I think it's possible that WWE 2K22 could be one of the 2 games that 2K has delayed internally. And I mean, like I said, it's really a 50-50 shot. You know, it's possible that it could be delayed, or it's possible it comes out in October or November like it normally does, or maybe even sooner because they're sponsoring SummerSlam. And usually 2K, or the WWE 2K game, sponsors the pay-per-view right around when the game comes out. So normally it's Hell in a Cell in October. Usually Hell in a Cell is like 2 weeks after the game comes out, and they'll sponsor Hell in a Cell. So, I mean, it's possible the game even drops in September. We have no idea, but we'll find out in a couple of weeks here. Guys, please let me know down in the comments. If WWE 2K22 is delayed, is that a good thing or a bad thing to you? Would you rather have it right now, or would you rather wait a few months if it means the game will end up better in the end? Also, I want to know, do you guys actually think 2K22 will be delayed, or do you think that they're talking about those 2 other games that I mentioned? Like I said, please let me know down in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys have to say. The next 2K22 video I'm going to be making is my wish list for the game that'll come out in a few days, so be excited for that. Subscribe, like, and share. But guys, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Phenom, out.